Let's get this Lokar shifter installed or mocked up enough for me to measure for getting the cable, and then we're going to get the wiper, the original wiper vacuum motor, to work. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so I got in my Clayton Machine Works gated shifter. I didn't get the cable yet because I have to figure out the length that I need. Lokar sells cables up to like 12 feet. So once I get this mounted in where I want it, then I'll measure the cable, meaning what I need for the cable. This is a linkage type shifter, but I picked up a linkage to cable conversion kit. So that I'm waiting to still come in. As far as the handle goes, or the shift lever, I really wanted that like a bench, 16-inch bench with how it comes around and then up. But I'm still kind of on the fence on that one, or a 16-inch double bend. So I looked up the specs of it. It's 5/8 rod, and since this is let me take this out. So being a Lokar Clayton Machine Works, it's got where it can accept like a Hurst shifter, Tremec, or anything like that. You can, some of these shifter levers only come with like the screw on, you know, where you screw it on and then it would push a button, but this is gated. You can undo this and this comes out, and then it comes with, you can buy like a conversion to convert the screw type to the gated, or to the bolt type. So this is it. It's really, so actually it sits in there like this, so this would be in park. It's really, the spring in there is pretty tight. So, and it does come with a switch. It can either be your backup light or like the reverse lock or the neutral safety switch. But if you take this jam nut off right here and then loosen this one up, there is an Allen, and you can back off the spring pressure, so it's a little bit not as tight. So right now it's pretty tight, and this is for a 700R4, so then it's a gated shifter. It comes with the arm that would bolt to here. It comes with the transmission, 700R4 transmission lever arm for down below, and then a bunch of miscellaneous Allen bolts and lock nuts and all that stuff. This unit, like I said, is for linkage type shifting, but like I said, I've got the conversion kit coming to make it cable shifted. So as far as the rod goes, it's 5/8 diameter. So I just ran and picked up a 5/8 diameter. This is 3 feet long, and I'm going to see what I can do as far as just welding on a piece just like that, make it a little shorter, just so I can get placement of the shifter, because I'm still on the fence on which shift lever I want to get. But I mean, if this works and I can bend it with a little bit of heat, maybe I'll just use this. The shift ball that I got, I wanted the retro type for a 4-speed. I can only find them for a 3-speed. Even Lokar, it only shows 3-speed, not 4-speed. So I ordered a from Shifters Unlimited or something like that, a shift ball, and it's orange, so it kind of matches the theme of the truck. So, and then if this works how I'm hoping it works, then I'll paint this the gunmetal like I painted everything else on the inside. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece out, because it just, like I said, it just unbolts out, and you can take this piece out. And then I'm going to get some, this looks like a 1/2 inch plate, or 1/2 inch thickness. I'm going to either trim this one down for this to fit up against it, like flat spot it on one side and then drill it and then bolt it to it, or I'm going to make a plate, weld it to this, and that way I can attach it. So that's kind of like my ideology right now. The shifter levers are like super expensive. They run anywhere from like 150 bucks and up. So I'm gonna give this a whirl, and we'll go from there. So we'll set the camera up and see how it goes. Let's get into this. Alright, so this kit doesn't come with anything that fits that. So that's kind of a bummer. And I'm not sure, that's 3/8 by 16. I don't know if it's a 3/8 by 24, but yeah. So it looks like I'm gonna have to take this piece down to the hardware store and see what the thread pitch is on it and get 2 bolts that are that size. Alright, we'll be back. Okay guys, just for a heads up, I went to take this pin out to pull this off, and yeah, that just kind of snapped. So when I went to the hardware store, and these up here are 3/8 by 24, and this one here, a 1/4 inch, a 1/4 20 actually fits down through there. So I got a new one of these to put through there to hold this in place. And yeah, so let's get back to work here. Let's start bending up the rod so I can get placement of it and then go from there. Find something to give me a little bit more leverage to bend it this way. I do have a jack handle. Slide right on that, and then Bob's your uncle, it'll be done. Okay guys, I couldn't find the jack handle, but I found a piece of square tubing. So we'll take this over to the truck, put it in there. This does have adjustments here where you can pivot the whole unit. So let's see how this is. So before I put it over there, let me put the feet on this unit. It's these little guys. And these, I do believe these are 3/8 by 16, whereas these are 3/8 by 24. All right. this a little bit more, it'll be right as rain. Yep. So let's go do that real quick. We'll curve it a little bit more right here. It should be good. We'll bring it down. It'll be right. I'm thinking right there is the placement. So we got it mounted in the spot where I think it'll be okay. So I'm just gonna attach these down from the underside. They're these I didn't use the ones that came with them because they're too short. So those are 3/8 by 24. They seem to be 3/8 by 24 everything that's on this thing. So these are 3/8 by 16. So I'll go underneath and yeah, just tighten them all up and then we'll go from there. Right now what we got is, so that should be park. Move it over. That should be reverse. It's real slight, like there's not a lot of movement or not a lot of play between the gears. That should be drive, and then that just kind of goes down and then down. So that would be low or drive 1, 2, 3, 4, that little clip, then neutral. So then you got to bring it over a little bit more, and I think that's reverse. Nope. I don't know. I'll figure it out. That's pretty complicated there. But let me get this moved and then go from there. So we're going to mark the floor. So from here to here, right? So we're going to drill pilot holes. One right there. And basically you want it in line. And then what we'll do is we'll cut the carpet from 1 to 2. Sorry. And then we'll go down underneath. We'll zip cut it from there to there. And then we'll open it up to fit the arm through.
So this has to go in, down, and then down. So let's do that real quick. So I think these brackets have to be switched around, and I think that has to be here because it hits. So let me switch these two around and then be right back. Alright guys, so I moved these two things, instead of being up here, back here. I didn't get any instructions with this, how to mount this and everything. Yeah, there's not much out there. Even Lokar has the conversion cable instructions as a PDF to download, but that's all on the transmission side. But nothing about installing this, so it's pretty straightforward, but I wish I would have known about that. I mean, I can still open up that hole to that bolt hole so it'll clear, but I still have one little hole over here now. And there's park. So that should be park. Reverse, neutral, drive, 1, 2, that should be it. So 1, 2, 3. And that should be it. So the shifter is now installed. So let me tighten this stuff up. Alright guys, so some of you may be wondering, why are you putting in a gated shifter when you have the push button shifter that works fine? Well, for me, it works fine because I know how to run it. So this gated shifter actually takes over two issues. One is whoever buys this truck, once I'm done with it and put it up for sale, a lot of people are more comfortable with a shift lever than they are with a push button. So, and then ease of maintenance really. So if the actuator ever goes bad in the back, if you're on like a road trip or something, then you're kind of down for a little bit because of the electronical part of it, right? So I know a friend of mine has the gear shift just like I do with the button, and he says that it has broke down on him before. So, and he'd had to get a new actuator, and he carries a spare actuator on him just in case anything happens. And this guy with his COE, he travels like to Alaska with it. He's putting on like 300 and some thousand miles on his build. He's got a camper shell. Yeah, it's called Blue Turtle. So that's the first thing. Second thing is I wanted to put another switch in here to run the bed, the tilt bed. So the tilt bed wireless mechanism has a draw on the battery, just because that's the nature of what it does. So what I'm going to do is the switch up here in the dash that I have for the transmission is going to be swapped over to control the bed lift, the bed tilt. So I don't put any more holes in, I don't have to get another switch, I can just use that switch. And my park selector indicator, the little digital one, the Dakota digital unit that I have, that one will still stay in place. So when you put it in gear through the gated shifter, this will still show if you're in park, reverse, neutral, drive, that kind of deal. So that's going to stay as well. So that is the purpose of why I'm putting in the gated shifter. Do I lose my beautiful flat floor? No, not so much. It's just a shifter. I probably will go ahead and pick up that it's probably a 10-inch is all I need. A shift lever, or maybe I can play around with this one and get this a little bit more tuned in, and then go from there. But as of right now, the shifter is installed, and it clears the floor. I still have to get a shift boot for it, and now I have to measure for the cable. So Lokar is pretty proud of their very long cables. I mean, the cables alone, if it's a 12-foot cable, it's still running around $200 for the cable. 10-foot is like $170. I don't think it's either a 10 or a 12-foot cable, because it's got to come straight out the back, and then it has to go, or straight out of the shifter lever, and then it has to go back, swing around, and then attach to the cable conversion kit that I'm still waiting for. And I'll probably have to move some things down underneath on the transmission, because my Dakota digital gear selector indicator takes up the same real estate as the shifter cable bracket. So if I can get them both to work off the same holes, then I'll be golden. If not, I'll have to move the Dakota digital into another spot back there, and then run a small threaded rod from that to the actual shift lever, meaning the shift lever off the transmission arm. So that's why I'm going with the gated shifter. I mean, right now I'll give you a quick how it works here. So give me 1 second. Let me switch the camera around. So here we are. So right now we're in park. So over, that should be reverse, and then that should be neutral. So now you got to go over a little, then down. I think that's overdrive. There should be 3, then you got to go over, down, then down, and that should be 1. Should be. So up to second, third. That overdrive part is real tricky. I don't know quite where it's at. I think that's it. That's either neutral or drive. Yeah, that's drive. And then over. See, there's that little bit. Oh, and then up again. And then up into park. So once I get the transmission hooked up, and then put it in each gear, make sure that all works, but I can't do that until I get the cable. So yeah, so what we're going to do now is we're going to get the we're gonna do the wiper motor. So hold on a second. So as far as the wiper motor goes, I'm going to get the original one here working. It's vacuum pressure, but I have the vacuum canister already for the heater, so I figure I can just tie into that and it should help. They say that even with modern engines or whatever, the wiper motor, the vacuum motor doesn't work well. It works, but not like uber awesome like the Newport ones or whatever. But for me, I think that'll be just fine. I'm not going to alter anything up underneath there, so if the next owner wants to put in an electric one, or they say, hey, I'm going to buy your truck, but I need the electric wiper motor, then I can put that in. But so we're going to take that out, and then we're going to clean it all up. I'm going to use my brake bleeder, vacuum brake bleeder kit that I got to do the brakes. I'm going to hook that up because it pulls a strong vacuum, and I'm going to use that to test the motor after I clean it all up. So let's do that real quick. I'm probably just going to time lapse that because it's I mean, taking it out, it's 2 bolts up underneath and then a slot. The unit comes out, and then there's the switch up above that you just have to loosen up. And then I'm going to clean it up, test it. If it works, put it back up in. And I already ordered, and I got those in, wiper blades, the little 10-inch, I think they're like 10 or 11-inch wiper blades, and new wiper arms. So I'm going to pop those on and then see how they go. So here we go with that. Alright guys, so we got the kit in. Floor mount shifter cable conversion kit. So it comes with a new arm for the shift lever down below, the bracketry that hooks all together, and then one 36, I think, or 24-inch cable. Obviously the cable's not going to work for me, but unfortunately, when to buy this, you get this as well. So we're going to start piecing this stuff together up underneath to kind of get an idea of the correct length I need for the cable. This is actually pretty stout. I could see why they're so expensive. But yeah, so let's get the truck up in the air and start getting all this stuff mounted up and see how we go. Alright, so the first thing is taking this all off. I know it's in park position, so let me take this off. I'm probably going to take off this whole mount for this, so it kind of clears that up for the cable to come through. I still haven't, yeah, probably the cable will come like this along the frame rail, but let me get this all apart and we'll go from there. So according to the instructions, this gets to its farthest point. This right here is the Dakota digital unit that tells you, like, the gear selector, tells you which gear you're in. So yeah, so I'm just going to make sure that the swing is right for this. So we'll put this on just like that. So nope, no problem. So we'll have to go that way. Let's see. So that would be reverse, neutral, overdrive, 3, 2, 1. So I think this is going to be in the way. So I'm going to hook up this the Heim joint on this side just to make sure that I have travel and it doesn't hit this. I don't think it will, but we'll see. So if I do have to move this, I can move this over here and then run threaded rod from this unit to here. So let me just get the little end here. I'll pop it on and see what we got going on. So how you line this up is you move the bracket till this hits. Obviously, once it's connected to the shifter, I'll have to redo all this. But this is just for now to see for the swing. So it's just like that. So it just falls on and off. Okay, so let's see if this hits it all. So park, reverse, neutral, drive, 1, or drive, 3, 2, 1. We clear. Alrighty. Yep. So now this guy, I would really like to have so that thing is pretty tiny, and so when I just removed all this little guy was loose from the vibration. So, and that's just driving it around just a little bit around the block. So I think I'm gonna get maybe a nylock for that, like everything else. And then put this on to make sure that the swing works. Yep. But for right now, I'll put this on, test the swing, and then go get a nylock that's this size. Uber tiny. Okay, so this Dakota digital unit doesn't know where park is or anything, so you can pretty much set that like in the lock position or anywhere really, as long as you have full range of motion. So when you put it in the gear, you can set the box saying, okay, this is park, and then you tell the box, you bring it down into reverse, this is reverse, this is neutral, and so on all the way through. As long as you have your full range of motion here without hitting anywhere, then you know that it'll work, basically is what I'm saying. So we'll go, that's park, reverse, neutral, drive, 3, 2, 1. So this is where one gets tricky. There's a little bolt back here, so sometimes it'll get hung up. Let's see. Nope, it didn't. Will I ever go into low? 1? No. But it's nice if it wouldn't hit, right? Yep. There it is. Bob's your uncle. So now I have to measure the cable sweep. And then these 2 wires that went to the actuator here will now be ran to the actuator back there on the bed. And this, of course, is my 1 wire, and then that's the wiring for the Dakota unit. Alright, so let's measure that, and then we'll see what we got. So I need to order a 10-foot cable. Okay. So we got that mounted up right there, and then the cable will come back, come around, and follow the frame rail down. It'll come along here. Sorry about this camera work. It'll come along here, come up, and then go up to there. So this is how the other side is hooked up. There's this little clip with, they love their Allen button bolts. It's got a nylock washer on the back. So I'm just going to set that up in there, mark these 2 holes with that actually attached to the arm, and then finish installing this piece. So there's the bracket in park. I'm going to swap these out for nylocks, but yeah, so it makes it pretty easy because I have a flat floor, not a transmission tunnel of any type. So let me grab that piece, put it back to see where I got to put it. Probably have to trim this out a little bit and then go from there. So right where it lands is right where there's nothing. So there it all is. So I made that little bracket. I used a rib nut to attach it to the center brace that comes across, and then made a bracket to attach all that together. Okay guys, I'm going to lower the vehicle, leave the camera sitting here, go through the gears, and see how this whole section is.
Well, it felt good from up there. Awesome.
Alright guys, so I just finished wiring up the switch to my original transmission up down. So the key does have to be on the on position to raise and lower the bed. I may change that for full-time power, so even like the hood, but for now it works. So put the key to the on position, push up, there it is, and then push down. Perfect. Alright guys, that's going to wrap it up for this weekend. Great weekend, got some parts in, got the shifting mechanism all set into place. I still have to order that 10-foot shift cable. I'll do that probably today, and then we'll put that in next weekend if it comes in, because it's being shipped directly from Lokar. So said it should be here, but if it's not, at least it's on order. And I'm also going to be ordering the 16-inch double bend shifter. My shift knob should be here. I think it's going to probably be the wrong thread pitch. I think the shifters are 3/8 by 24, and this shift knob is 3/8 by 16. So if I have to lop the top of the shifter off, weld on the correct bolt, so to speak, blend it all out. I want to paint the shifter the silver gunmetal anyway to match everything, so it's okay. Yep, that's about it for this weekend. Got a lot done. Super excited about this weekend and everything that we accomplished. So hit like, share, subscribe, all that other fun stuff they tell you, and yeah, go out and build something cool. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.